Beach Please. Tonight we talk about Brittany and John, confessions, day dates, and we have somebody live via Skype in just a few minutes.
You're tuned in to Afterbuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Yeah.
Miami. South Beach. Bringing the heat.
I'm going to the beach tonight, huh?
Jig it out. Here I am in the place where I come let go. In Miami, the base and the sunset low. Every day like a Mardi Gras. Everybody.
So we're going to talk a little bit about Brittany and John's relationship, the confessions that all came out on that wonderful retreat, team bonding, day dates, and of course our regular segments, news and gossip, and boss of the week. But tonight, guess what? We have tonight's star of the show here with us via Skype. She stayed up late to play. Hi, Brittany.
Hi. We're so happy to have you.
So, Brittany, I am Susan, and this is...
I'm Brittany. I have to say, Brittany, I've never seen Brittany spelled the way you spell it, ever.
Well, I always tell everybody my mom wanted to, make it original because Brittany was the third most popular name. So instead of changing my name to something original, she just added an I.
That is so funny. I love it.
The only thing that she definitely made sure of because of that was that I never got one of those like cups
or keychain,
anything, no keepsake.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've never seen it spelled that way. I spell it N-E-Y, and I always see the popular way A-N-Y. And then when I saw your spelling, I was like, wow, that's super unique.
I know. And now that I'm in like my 20s, I literally have to spell my name out at least 3 or 4 times in front of people. And they're like, are you sure? I'm like, yep, I've been spelling it that way for a long time.
That's okay. Starbucks will get it wrong either way.
So you mentioned your mom. You and your mom seem very close. I saw an interview earlier today where your mother was with you when you did an ice bucket challenge.
Oh, God. Yeah, my mom is not your typical mom. I think Reagan and I share something similar in that both of our moms are a little bit better at partying than us. My mom is an 80s baby, and she has gone to more concerts than I do, and she has more tattoos than I could ever imagine. So,
oh, wow.
I would never guess that. Wow.
And I have to tell you that I was so surprised, like when I was doing my research and I saw all of the like many things that you've done in the past, because you appear so like straight-laced and buttoned up and conservative on the show. But then I see that you are actually well-rounded and that you've done, not that being conservative doesn't mean you're well-rounded, but that you've done a lot in your life. And you mentioned tonight, and I'm so glad you mentioned it because I wasn't sure if I would, bring it up or not. You mentioned the Hooters Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
What does it take to be in the Hooters Hall of Fame?
It's so funny. So I actually just came from a trip this weekend, and on the way home, I was talking about all of my many endeavors and living in St. Thomas and having all these great adventures in Miami and all of that stuff. And so, yeah, I think definitely growing up has been a part of this journey. And so I do come off really serious, and people don't understand that, like, we were building a whole company during this filming. So I think that my most serious part came out because I was legitimately just having so much on my plate. But yeah, being a part of the Hooters Hall of Fame. So I started when I was really young. I was 17, 18. It was pretty much, I think any Hooters girl story is that I had a boyfriend that I broke up with, and I was like, whatever, I'm with my girlfriend, became a Hooters girl. And I just got really lucky. I was going to school for originally video game design, but ended up being in PR and communications. And I interned, and I didn't say no to anything, including interning for Hooters. So I worked with them for a while, and then got to do some really fun trips. And then I graduated college. I got an opportunity to manage the store in St. Thomas and the U.S. Virgin Islands. And then I guess I was doing something right because the big league in Florida then hired me on, and I did a lot of really great things with them, mostly for community relationships. And that's kind of how I became like, I mean, it's funny because there's a lot of brain surgeons and people that have done some really great things in the face of guests. You know, one of my girlfriends is in the Hooters Hall of Fame, and I literally just became part of the Hooters Hall of Fame because I did some really great charity work.
That's
but
awesome.
I don't
That's
know. I guess it's a
amazing.
great accolade to say, you know, but yeah, it was a really cool moment. They like flew my mom out to LA or to Las Vegas, and I got to get the award in front of her, and that was fun, you know.
That's really cool. I mean, that just shows that it's more than just like you're a pretty face and you know what I mean? You can fit into the little outfit. It's like an honor.
Oh, I mean, you have to think about it. There's over 400 Hooters around the world, and so every girl that's there, I mean, I really truly believe that we have it's beautiful women, and you know, I hate to say that anybody's not. So I think that that's not enough. Yeah,
Right.
you definitely have to do something really great with what you've been given. And so, you know, with the opportunities that I had, I did some really, really fun things in Miami that tugged at the heartstrings. And I think that that's what got me there.
That's amazing.
It's very impressive.
We did. I think the one thing, if I could give you an example, is so I did community relationships, and we partnered nonprofits with our for-profits. And so the very last thing I did before I was inducted was we had a relationship with Joe DiMaggio Children's Hospital in Miami,
Yes.
and we also had a partnership with Miami Dolphins. So
Nice.
we kind of gave them we went every first Wednesday of the month to Joe DiMaggio's and gave lunch to the parents of the children in the ICU, and just spent time with the families because that's like a big thing. And then with our partnership with the Dolphins, we then developed a relationship enough to where children who were able to then come out of that ICU unit give game day balls. And so for every home game, we got to see that. And that was, I'll never forget, the very last game was this kid who had gotten hit by truck ice cream, and he wasn't supposed to live. He wasn't supposed to come out of a coma. He wasn't supposed to walk. And here he is in the very last home game of the season, giving a ball, giving the game ball, throwing the game ball rather. And his mom turns around and gives us all a big hug. And, you know, obviously, you know, props to the Hooters girls for coming in with lots of, you know, fun. So yeah, so that's the part of Hooters that I think most people don't really get to see, you know, because it's,
Right.
you know, few girls in wings.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So that's amazing. That's
So how
very
did
rewarding.
your journey lead you to Uncommon James?
Oh, okay. So Miami was a really great time in my life, but I was young, and I think that I really knew that I was growing out of it. You know, it was a little too much fun sometimes. And so I had a girlfriend that was moving to Nashville, and I had just come off a trip from Bali, and I was feeling all, you know, new and wanting to shed my skin, be something different again. And without a plan, just moved to Nashville. I moved on Christmas Day, drove my car and headed out there, and didn't have a plan. And I ended up running events for another restaurant group out here. And through that, I got to meet Kristin here and there. And so a mutual friend would introduce me, and then we would talk about some things that I was getting done. And she would mention about Uncommon James. And then this whole crazy journey happened kind of all at once. So it went from like, you know, small conversations to right thrown in, and she poached me.
Oh, wow.
It's so crazy how some of like the craziest things happen and that are unplanned, that you have no plan and you just go for it, and then all these amazing opportunities come your way.
I mean, it's the best. I mean, even the show was completely unplanned, and the store was completely unplanned. And that's kind of what the beauty of the show is that you get to see all of us make those like first time learning mistakes at every age, at every stage of life, at every stage of building the brand.
So I have to ask a question about Uncommon James. Is it true that you guys ran out of merchandise?
Oh, it's we don't have enough right now.
I'm hearing all kinds of
If you go
things.
to our website, it's so crazy. I mean, it's great. It's a great problem to have. But even since the show started, you know, Kristin is amazing, and really, I truly believe that anything she touches turns to gold. And she believes in her product, and we believe it just as much as she does. And we've had this whole crew of people who have believed in us from that part. And then, you know, with the success of all of it, we really do not have any inventory right now. It's really scary. I sit and cringe on Saturdays, like, we need to do an inventory count. I need to make sure, because we've had a couple instances where we've oversold things that we thought we had, and the stock is just all gone.
So is the store open right now, or are you guys kind of taking a break since you're out of stuff?
No, the store is open and it's rocking. We have been trying to keep everything separate as far as inventory goes, but we decided, and I don't even know if this is something I can say, but it's funny that we had to do some like pre-releases of things that we had planned to do later on. So like things that like, for example, tonight I think we released Straight to the Point and Cupid and Silver, which wasn't supposed to be released until next week. But because we just have this need for inventory, we just have been doing these Kristin will just call me and she's like, can we just release this? And I'm like, yes, okay, let's do it.
Well, like you said, that's not a bad problem to have.
Not at all. And before we let you go,
I mean, it's crazy because we just even, at the store, we didn't expect, we started out with 2 girls working on the floor, and now we're even suggesting 5 girls, just because there's so many people that come in and just want to see the store and hang out and be a part of it. And we have all of these other extra brands that are walking through. She's doing some private label things and experimenting with some upcoming adventures as well. And so it's great to see it stick and see it, be successful.
Absolutely.
So are we going to see some more Uncommon James on season 2?
I'm open.
And so, but before we let you go, I wanted to ask you.
I told Kristin, I was like, if this all goes again, I have to tell you, I need an assistant.
Yes.
So Brittany, before we let you go, I just want to ask you very quickly about John. So how did you guys meet, first of all?
So we met through a mutual friend. Someone who just thought we would be good together. And when I first met John, I literally knew nothing of music, country music, and it was intriguing. And so, yeah, I met John through a mutual friend in the most Nashville way possible, and that is at Tin Roof.
That's fun.
So what is the best thing about dating an older guy?
Oh, well, the blessing and the curse of dating an older guy is that they think they know more, but sometimes they do. So the great thing is that John's been through it all. I have to sometimes reel him in on the knowledge that he thinks he has. But in reality, it's fun watching someone who's already gone through it and being proud of something I'm going through. I mentioned on the show, like, he's never really had his own business to run, but essentially what he does in music, he does run. And him being able to see me go through this whole journey and all of the rocks and valleys aside, I truly believe that he is proud of me, and it's something that he gets to see kind of 2020, and I think too, when you date an older person, there's not very many games to play, and so it might not sometimes be as fun, but I have an old soul, so I appreciate the older conversations.
Yeah, I like that. I agree. I'm with you.
Overall thoughts about tonight's episode?
Oh my gosh, I was cringing. It's one thing to remember being so upset, and I kept saying, I was like, it's not about the dog, and it truly wasn't, but it's another thing to watch back and remember just being so upset. It definitely made me love Reagan even more because I remember having that conversation. It made me love Kristin even more because I do believe Kristin's my mentor, and she's gone through so much too in marriage and in life and in business, and so when I am going through my own little hurdles, it's nice to have that to lean on, but also saying that it's nice to look back on our relationship and see where we've grown, where all of this came from. We never experienced we never experienced that amount of change that quickly, right. And so now when things are hitting like they are now, it's kind of, we've learned some things, including communication.
That's awesome. Well, Brittany, thank you so much for staying up with us, and we truly appreciate having you. You've made our evening. Thank you.
I was so excited. I've been watching these all, so I love everyone, and I love all that. I'm sad that Zach wasn't here, but I was like, Susan, Brittany, I'm so excited.
Oh, thank you so much.
That's so sweet.
But Zach will be back next week. So.
All right, I will. I'll bring the crew.
Yes.
Well,
all right.
Thank you. And you have a good night.
You too.
Bye, Brittany.
She's a lovely girl.
I know.
So
sweet.
Absolutely. So we are cutting down to we're going to move quickly through a few of our topics, though. But
Yes.
first,
After Buzzers, our network produces after shows for nearly all your favorite TV shows. From dramas, reality TV, sci-fi, and more, there's no network that works harder to serve television fans. But we need your help. We're asking that you please subscribe to one or more of our YouTube channels. By subscribing to our channel, YouTube will suggest content that's tailor-made for you, and you'll help AfterBuzz continue to grow. And if you're worried about pesky notifications, don't be, because they're optional. So hit that subscribe button now for this channel, and check out our other AfterBuzz YouTube channels as well. Let us know that you did so in the comments, and we'll thank you for it on air. For now, thanks for being the best fans and for helping us be the ESPN of TV talk.
thank you, Brittany.
Of course, Susan.
So after talking to her, my goodness, let's talk about our topic 1, which is Brittany and John.
I know. I mean, she's an old soul, and I love that because I am too. And it's interesting. She appreciates the conversation, and like she said, there's less games, and I like that because it's such a game now out there. It's a game.
I loved when he was trying to console her, but he didn't know how. So he just said, I'm going to put everything out there right now on the line. He's like, I love you. You know, you're first for me. Everything you do. He said, I want to make you happy. Like, he was like, what can I say to let you know that I'm not ignoring you and I can hear you? And I think he did say, I hear you.
Right.
So, and I love that because he was like, you know what? And like she said, he doesn't play games anymore, which, guys, please stop playing games in the first place.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, my thing is actions speak louder than words. So it's like, you know, you can say I love you, I this, I that, but, you know, you need to deliver. And, you know, whatever was happening with the dog and whoever's supposed to watch the dog, it's just communication is so key in any sort of relationship, whether it's a friend, a significant other. Like, you have to be communicating with each other or it'll just crumble.
I agree. But you know what I think? I feel like he was trying to, even though she had already made arrangements for where the puppy was going to go, I feel like he was trying to make it more personal by letting his mom watch the puppy. And then, of course, he changed her arrangements and she felt secure with the way it was and she knew the food was there and all that. But he thought he was helping.
Yeah.
And so it's hard sometimes to get mad at someone when they're doing something earnestly and they're trying to help, you know?
Right. I mean, I just think for us women, we just worry about so many different things. And then in return, we get upset about a lot of different things. Like, even
Right.
just like the slightest little thing can just, you know, blow up in our face. So, I mean, it seems like they're doing well. And it's been interesting to watch their relationship grow over these episodes for sure.
Oh my goodness. Okay. And so now there was a night of confessions tonight. There were so many secrets and so many confessions that just came out.
Yes, like Reagan's butt tattoo.
Which
Gosh, that was funny.
That was funny. And that was what made that funny for me was that when she had an opportunity to say something that other people wouldn't know about her, that's where she went with the butt tattoo, which is
Right.
funny. But I liked how, you know, some of them were really being deep and authentic. And of course, Taylor was kind of edged into telling her secret to everyone.
Yeah, I mean, I think she did the right thing telling everyone. I think it would have just really taken a toll on her trying to continue to hide it from everybody. I think it was, I'm kind of surprised she didn't just let them know from the get-go. And, you know, I don't know, just like hiding it the whole time around all the alcohol. That was exhausting. I feel like if that was me, I feel like I wouldn't have been able to enjoy myself completely because I would have been just worried about it the whole time.
Right. And I think that's why Shannon kind of asked her to tell, because Shannon was Superwoman. She went out of her way to make sure that Taylor was not put into a position where she had to tell or do something that would harm her baby.
Right.
So, I mean, Shannon showed what kind of friend she was tonight. And I
agree.
of course, we've always liked Shannon. We love her. We hate her. We love to hate her. She's just, you know, fun to watch. But I really like the kind of friend that she is.
I mean, yeah, to like jump in and swoop a shot at 8 a.m., I would say that's a pretty good friend.
I'm just ready to party.
Yeah, I'm ready to party. She was like dead in bed 2 seconds earlier. And then she sprung up and was taking her shot. So that was pretty funny for sure.
And so she really had the mama bear attitude over Taylor, I felt like.
Yeah, she did. She definitely did. That's really interesting.
Yeah. And then some of the other confessions. Oh gosh, let's talk about Kristin and her drunk confessions.
Oh boy.
She was amazing with the way that she loved everyone. I love you.
Yeah, the alcohol was her truth serum, is what they said. So
Yes.
it was just really funny. And then, to Brittany, she said, you're a badass. I love you so much. And like, I hired you for a reason. It was just really cool to see, I'm so used to seeing Kristin Cavallari from her like Laguna drunk days. And she's like a sloppy mess and she's getting in fights. And then here she is like just loving on everybody. And it was just really funny to see her stumbling around.
Yeah. So she was a loving drunk, of course. Yeah, but that was fun to watch. And I loved seeing her like just tell everyone like what she was feeling. And then she did go in with Brittany a little bit about what she deserved, because everyone is feeling like Brittany was being manipulated, or, maybe there's something we didn't see. Maybe there's some things that didn't appear in the episode,
right,
where they seemed to show a little bit of concern about her relationship. And that's another question too. I understand it was a team bonding and you're with your coworkers, but how much should you keep to yourself regarding your relationship? Because when you're at the place where Brittany and John are now, and they're happy and they've worked through the communication issues, your coworkers now still have heard what you said prior or seen,
Yeah.
So how much do you keep to yourself?
I know. I feel like there was maybe a little bit that we didn't see, but I think everyone was kind of just noticing maybe Brittany's energies, and they could sense that, she wasn't herself and something was bothering her. I think it is pretty obvious when she's not herself and something's on her mind. You could tell when she's stressing out about something and can't really let loose. And I think everybody at the bar and everything, Kristin was probably sensing those energies. So
yeah. And someone, I don't know who the first person was to use the word, but I know that even Brittany used the word manipulate. She used the word, and then others use it as well in reference to her relationship.
Right.
The manipulation.
Yeah, I think Reagan had said it too when they sat down out on the balcony, and she had said that it seems like he may manipulate you a little bit. And, Brittany had admitted that she's emotionally attached to him, and, like she really loves him. And maybe sometimes just the way he responds comes off as if he's manipulating, but I don't really know that he is. I think really he's just older, and he just doesn't play the game. Like, it's just kind of like straightforward.
And then we need to define manipulation too, because there's levels. And when you hear the word manipulation, obviously it has like a negative connotation. However, when you want to influence someone to do something, like in sales or in marketing or, just in life in general, there's always a little bit of manipulation that comes into play. Obviously, you don't want to use that word when you're referring to your relationship. So hopefully it wasn't a true...
Yeah, I mean, maybe it could just be more like he's just an influence, and maybe they look at that as him manipulating, but he's older, he's had more experiences, like Brittany has said, so it could very well be him trying to influence her in a positive way, not necessarily manipulate her. Those are two different words.
Right.
Definitely.
And so speaking of activity at the bar, how did you feel, and how would you feel if your significant other took a body shot off of one of their coworkers? Like Shannon took a body shot off of Cleve.
Yes. I mean, I think at this point, her boyfriend knows that she's just a promiscuous girl. And I mean, it's no different than when she was flirting with Worth, I feel like. I don't know. I know me personally, I wouldn't want to see my boyfriend taking a body shot off of some girl.
No,
definitely not.
I don't think there's ever an appropriate time
Yeah.
to allow that to happen. I mean, there's no excuse. Oh, it was a work bonding experience. I'm sorry, what kind of bonding are you doing? That's not a body shot off of your coworker.
Yeah, that was a little much. But I mean, he had some nice abs, I must say.
But you know what? I will say, there was definitely a moment where HR should have been called.
Do they have an HR department?
Who is HR?
I think Kristin Cavallari is the HR, and she was pretty much condoning all of it. So.
Yeah, she said you need to be naked.
Oh, yeah, she said it wasn't enough. So I don't know. I guess if you're under the influence of Kristin Cavallari, anything goes.
It's sweet though, and I like how they have their relationship together, and that they have an understanding of what's appropriate and what's not, and they're all models. I mean, even Brittany is a legit swimsuit model. We mentioned a little bit about Hooters, but she has a long list of work that she's done, and swimsuit modeling and calendars and all that good stuff.
Wow, that's amazing. That is amazing.
Yeah. So, I mean, he should be naked. I'm pretty sure Cleve's probably represented by the same agent that they all have too.
Exactly. Probably. That's definitely probably true.
And so, okay, and the team bonding exercises. Let's talk about what was it, the rope?
The ropes. That was so funny. That was interesting. I thought for sure someone was going to fall. I feel like we didn't like see enough of that. It was kind of just a little too easy. They skated by up there, but
You know, I feel like it was probably longer. I mean, we're watching, an hour-long show, and I'm thinking they had to edit past that to get to the good stuff.
I know. I feel like they had to have been drinking a little bit before. Like, I find it hard to believe that they all just kind of skated across, like, okay, now let's go take shots.
Yeah. So, and it probably was a day-long event to, climb up there and to spend the whole afternoon rope climbing. They didn't go to Destin, Florida just to spend 30 minutes climbing ropes.
Right. I mean, I think the whole trip overall was a very good idea. I think it was necessary. I think there's just been so much drama and tension between everybody building up, and I think it was smart of Kristin. She knows what she's doing. I think it was smart to just have the team bonding before the store opens, because I feel like this shit's gonna hit the fan when that store opens.
Oh, for sure, no question. And then we can talk about our day date, the chickens.
I have a feeling they're gonna end up with quite a few chickens for that chicken coop that they have. But I mean, that was really cute that he planned a day date. I mean, I'm obsessed with Jay, so
I love it. Even, I mean, obviously there was a lot in this episode, but they gave us our gratuitous Jay Cutler moments, which I love. Like, thank you. Just throw that in for me. You know, that helps. It didn't need it, but we appreciate it.
Exactly. When they FaceTimed, that was really funny. And he didn't know where one of the kids was, and she was all hungover and said she can't drink like a 21-year-old anymore. It's just cute. They're so fun.
Yeah. I thought it was funny when he said he didn't want the kids to see her like that.
Yeah, I know that was funny. And then she's just like, oh, whatever. And then they just get on a boat and start drinking again.
That's awesome.
That was really funny.
So we can head into our news and gossip.
Yes, I'm excited for this.
TV News.
So this week, Kristin appeared in Paper Magazine. It was a wonderful article, and most of the article was about Kristin's new perspective on reality television and things that we've heard her say since the show has been launched. But you have to see these pictures. They are so beautiful. Wow. It's an editorial shoot, of course, Paper Magazine, and she is in monochromatic attire in each of the pictures, and they're just stunning to look at. So if you're a fan of Kristin Cavallari and Very Cavallari, make sure you take a look at Paper Magazine to check out some of these images. They are absolutely
stunning.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. She always pulls it off.
And then we talked a little bit when we were talking to Brittany about some of the work that she's done in the past, but I found a host audition for her for a show called Power Block, which was an automotive show. And we can show a little bit of her hosting style because she's really impressive. We should have her every week.
She's done it all.
This is the world's first 3D printer car, and it's not sci-fi, it's real. Today on Power Block. Hey guys, welcome to America's headquarters for all serious car and truck tech. Now, here's today's all-new show lineup. Plus, we'll check out the Stratty, the world's first ever
So
3D
interesting,
printer
and she
car
started
from
out
Motors.
going to school
And
for
talk
video
with
game
CEO
like, design, so
Jay
she's
Cutler.
just taken a lot of interesting
Is this the way
turns.
the cars are going to be built in the future? We'll find out. All right, let's get started with Extreme.
So that was from 2015.
Power Block rolls
Wow.
on with more how-to you can use. Now, here's trucks.
She's good in front of the camera.
Yeah,
so
she's really
You
good.
natural.
were just like
Definitely.
you, watching our shows at home, getting inspired, and working on his 67 Mustang. Now, he's the co-host of Trucks. You'll meet him coming up, but right now, here's an all-new horsepower.
Thank you, Joshua, for that. We appreciate it. So she is really good at what she does. And she was made for in front of the camera. So it's nice that
Yes.
she can use all of her skills and everything that she's done. She's also worked in production.
Wow.
She was a production assistant for NFL Draft, for Lego Kids Fest, and also Brewdogs and Unwrapped. So she's done a little bit of everything.
Everything, yeah.
Yeah, but I think she's made for in front of the camera,
I
obviously.
think so too. Yeah. Definitely got the look for sure too.
Yes. And our last story, we go back to Bustle just because I love them and they're awesome. And thank you. And I feel like they wrote this one for us. So thank you very much. But they were talking about how all of the staff, they have, basically they're all models. And they all have a common bond, and that common bond is the block agency. And so we need to find out how we can submit our information to the block agency as well.
Yes, we do.
Anyway, so Mark Block apparently is a common bond between a lot of the people who work there at the store at Uncommon James. And we're apparently going to see him on a future episode. So we'll get to
interesting.
find out who is repping Worth and Shannon and Brittany and everybody else who we see on the show.
Yeah, that'll be interesting for sure.
So, do you have any predictions? Let's hear what you have for what's going to happen.
Well,
Now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
I think there's going to be some drama with the store opening. I don't know what it's going to be, but I just think something is going to go down. I think there's going to be some sort of fight or something crazy is going to happen. I'm just sensing it. This episode was like so chill compared to the other episodes in terms of drama. I just feel like something big is going to happen next episode. What do you think?
My prediction is that after they come back from this bonding experience where everyone really seemed to truly and genuinely bond with each other, it's going to fall apart. Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's
too good to be true. It can't last.
It was wonderful. It was cohesive. They all felt closer to each other. But that's like, when you're on vacation and then you come back to work and reality changes things.
Exactly. I'm kind of interested to hear your boss of the week, Susan.
My boss of the week. I'm going to have to go with Brittany because Brittany was the star of the show tonight. And she stopped by and talked to us.
Of course.
But she was a boss because she made sure that she was heard in her relationship.
Yes. I mean, of course, Brittany, obviously, you're a boss in my eyes, but for my boss of the week, I'm actually going to go with Taylor. I mean, she really toughed it out just trying to hide her pregnancy, and it had to have been stressful. She was exhausted. I'm sure that trip wasn't that fun for her. She said she had morning sickness. There probably was a lot we didn't see. So I think my boss of the week is definitely Taylor for just toughing it out and then coming clean and being honest with the whole group. I think it wasn't an easy decision for her to make. And, she feels like she trusts everybody and, the bonding brought them together. So she's my boss of the week.
That's awesome. And I have another boss. This one is for Zach Peter, who will be back next week joining us.
Yay.
And I won't be in the big girl seat next week. So Zach's boss of the week, he said, is Kristin. He wanted to make sure that everyone knew that he thinks that Kristin just rocked tonight's episode.
She did. She rocked it sober and drunk. Definitely. It was a good episode.
So want to thank you guys for watching, and we will see you next week.
Thank you, guys.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.